Do not chew ass and kick bubblegum. Just don't.
I'll try not. No promises.
All right, Fight Club, let's talk about some things.
James is ready to party.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Press X, the podcast, where you've got me, I'm Paul, and alongside me, you've got Alex Thomas.
Hello, hello.
And James Paley.
What up, y'all?
What is up is we're here to talk about video games and wine. James, tell me about wine.
There's a place in BC that makes tons of it, and there's so much. There's like just wineries every step of the way in every possible direction. It's like you stumbled through a portal into fucking Southern California. It is absolutely unreal.
Did you absorb any of the French language while you were drinking that much wine? I'm pretty
Holy
sure
God,
that
no.
French comes from wine.
No, not even a little bit. In fact, I might know less French than I did before the weekend.
Alex, how much French do you know?
I used to be pretty good at French, and now I know absolutely nothing.
Do you know anything about wine?
There's red and there's white?
Okay, that's pretty good. I'll call you a connoisseur, an expert.
Beauty.
Do you know anything about video games? Have you heard of those?
I think so? That's when the TV pictures start doing the things you tell it to do, right?
That's right.
Oh, right.
Did you tell the TV pictures to do anything in the past few weeks? Because I need to hear about it.
I did. I would say that the most significant thing that I got to do was check out that new DLC for Darksiders 3, which, for one thing, it kind of caught me off guard that there was going to be this extra DLC, because we already had that announcement about Darksiders Genesis, going back to before what happened, the events of the first game. But this DLC, it added this sort of challenge mode, you know, your typical dungeon crawly thing, try out some new features, that kind of stuff. But somehow, just that one extra mode that's off to the side, kind of like a longer side quest, adds so much more value to the game with new weapons, new armor, learning how to use your powers together. It feels like it should have been part of the release game, and it's like they just kind of cut it out and was like, we'll let people buy that later on. One of the big things people... Yeah?
Like, remind me, you did not like Darksiders 3, the main game.
It was okay. It definitely didn't live up to 1 and 2. Not only did it feel hollow in a way that it shouldn't have, because, I mean, it's the apocalypse. Of course it's going to feel a little empty. But it felt like there just wasn't enough substance there, plus it was suffering from tons of bugs, and lag, and loading screens, and all this stuff. And now it's solid. Like, it's a really solid experience. And the biggest problem that people had with it is in the first 2 games you could get the abyssal armor, right, which was the best gear for the characters. It's in Darksiders 3 now only if you get the DLC.
That's some hot buttered bullshit right there.
It sure is. Because bosses are a lot easier once you get that abyssal armor.
So would you recommend diving into Darksiders 3 if you hadn't already, and you're just kind of interested in the DLC?
I feel like if people were already interested in Darksiders 3 but didn't take that step, if they can get it with the DLC at a good deal, like, that is now a solid game. The game is so much better with the inclusion of this extra content, because it's quite a substantial and fun challenge mode that gets added in.
Cool. Side note, Darksiders Genesis, I actually played that at E3, and yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, that seems way better than Darksiders 2 anyways. I haven't played 3, but yeah, it's like Baldur's Gate for the new age.
Yeah, I was really curious after seeing some of the footage of Genesis. I mean, it's good that you can finally get to play as Strife, because so far he's the only one you haven't had a chance to play as.
Yeah, the writing seems pretty good too. Some of the comic relief is pretty good. from what I
Oh,
saw anyway. We'll see if it pans out for the whole game, but yeah, looks promising.
nice. Was that supposed to release like later this year? Do we have a release date?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I'm going to guess October because that seems like a good month for Genesis to come out. Is it right? Probably not, but it's my guess.
I appreciate your guess, friend.
Google tells me 2019.
Cool. Just 2019?
2019.
Okay, I was
Okay.
like 25% correct. That's pretty good.
Steam says 2019. So it's coming out in 2019, whenever that is.
Yeah, sometime. Some mysterious time.
All right, all right.
So the one greatest thing about Darksiders 3 Keepers of the Void, Alex, go.
Abyssal armor. The boss is like Dark Souls quality, and I know people like to throw around, oh, this game's like Dark Souls. No, Darksiders 3 really tried to grasp a lot of what was good about Dark Souls, but that boss to beat the armor is just like going up against one of those bosses. You die a bunch of times. When you finally beat it, you feel fantastic, and when you equip that armor, you look badass. Your powers are just supercharged. It's fantastic. You finally are like, yes, I am a horseman. I will destroy the world. It's fantastic.
James, what's your favorite circle of hell?
Is there one for like reckless self-indulgence and debauchery? Because that seems like a pretty dope circle.
Uh, Gluttony? Does gluttony have a circle?
Let's say
Sure.
yes. Let's say
Sure.
yes. I like that.
Descend
Uh,
into the glut sphere.
yeah. Always descend deep, deep into the glut sphere. This is totally off topic, but speaking of games that are like other games, the Jedi Fallen Order devs were quoted this week as saying their game is like Sekiro.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not sure how I feel about that comparison.
They both have bladed weapons and are published by really big companies.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's
see,
that.
there we go.
Yeah,
I think arguably in both cases, the weapons should very well cut off limbs all the
Yeah.
time and not just leave wounds.
Yeah, it should be just like a de-limbing delight for all involved.
Yeah, I want, like, Bushido Blade, the action adventure.
I mean, you'd have to be able to give as good as you get, but yes, absolutely.
Permadeath, too. So you take one hit and you have to restart the game.
ooh, brutal.
I know some people that would love that, though.
Yeah, some crazy people. People
Yeah,
who are crazy.
Yeah. And Trevor would buy it thinking that he could get into it and then just die repeatedly forever.
Just like Bloodborne.
Yeah. Just like Bloodborne, his favorite game.
Didn't he end up like giving that away or something? Did he have a physical copy he gave away to someone or something like that?
Oh, I'm sure. He's basically disowned that game has ever been released.
Yeah.
So, Alex, you play anything else?
I've been playing the DLC for Moonlighter. I was really late to the game to jump into Moonlighter. I finally got an opportunity to start playing it, and it's just like the most addicting, grindy, roguelitey, beautiful little game on my Switch. I've been playing it pretty much every chance I get if I'm not in the middle of doing an article or at work, although I will play it at work when I'm not supposed to be. And the DLC adds just a nice extra little challenge. There's a new dungeon, which adds new crafting, adds a bunch of new tech stuff going on. So it feels like a little bit more of the same, but it's a nice additional challenge.
Okay. And what's the main change in the DLC, or is it just more content?
It's just more content. I mean, you get more stuff to craft. The new dungeon, which is a lot tougher. The original dungeons had 3 levels to them, and this new Between Dimensions DLC is all full of wonderful green goop. It's all covered in slime, and it has 9 levels. And I still can't seem to get past like the 5th level at this point. It just gets crazy tough, but in a nice, fun way.
Covered in Slime, isn't that the name of your sex tape?
I think so. I have to double check with the editor on that one.
It's on VHS, right? That's the only way to make a sex tape.
Betamax and VHS.
Betamax. The HD DVD is coming soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
2019.
What about you, James? What have you been up to lately?
Spent a lot of time playing Fire Emblem. We'll spend a lot more time playing Fire Emblem. It's a good game to lose many hours in. People are discovering new and wonderful things about it. I mostly discover how badly I want to like master all the job classes and make a small crack team of super soldiers.
Yeah, I've been thinking about falling down that particular rabbit hole and losing all connection to society whatsoever.
It's an easy recommendation.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know enough to ask what's your favorite tea party, but can you tell me about one specific tea party you planned that was just the best?
My first one was perfect, and that is a real point of pride for me. Like, it was just like, this is the tea party that will, like, this is your first chance to throw a tea party, and you do it, and I just say the right things every time, and you get that critical, like, end juncture where it's like, if you say the right thing, then by God, you guys can just talk for however long you want, and you're come away with that perfect score. You're just about ready to, like, run a fucking marathon because you were so awesome at, like, pouring tea and, like, cracking jokes and serving snacks, and it was just like, oh, like, what a high mark to start off on. The next 5 or 6 were not as good, I'm going to be honest.
I love that there's that much variety in that game that it ranges from tea party to, basically genocidal death.
Yeah, and fishing and gardening,
Well, and why not?
Yeah, and, a little cooking and, like it's less about romance and more about the, like, lasting bonds of friendship. Probably because a lot of the characters are your students, and that would get real weird. And it's just like, we don't want to encourage that. We don't want to encourage student-teacher dalliances. We want to keep things on the right side of the law.
Yeah, but I mean, really, how much law is there in the JRPG world?
Considering the fact that your protagonist can't even say for certain how old they are, you know what? I feel like there's some flex there. I feel like there's a little room to wiggle around in.
Fair.
That's potentially wildly creepy.
Oh, my yes. The field is fertile for a crop of creepiness, my friends. I tell you.
As another aside, what percentage of Japanese video games do you think have fishing minigames?
God, I want to say at least like 70, because there's a lot of like straight up like, but I mean, unless it's like Japanese RPGs, in which case it's about 106. About 106% of JRPGs have fishing minigames, and that means because that's like there was fishing in Final Fantasy 15. And then they added a second fishing minigame as like purchasable DLC with like PSVR. Like there was fishing, they added more fishing.
Yeah, and miraculously, none of the minigames are even remotely similar. I don't know how they keep coming up with so many ways to just tap a button or spin the sticks, but they are all different.
Oh yeah, you like hit this and hold this and twist this, and everything else is just like it's incredibly complex dance that always boils down to being mostly really easy.
Yeah, and usually resulting in you catching a 1.2 pound like river perch or something.
Yeah, or like you'll like fish for the first time, be like, oh sweet, look at this rad fish I caught. and then you will find 140 more at pawns around the world. That is your new destiny.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a destiny that we all embrace.
Yes, wholeheartedly.
I also see a note here that Metal Wolf chokes on your chode.
Hey, whoa. It does, but more on that. This podcast will come out when the review comes out, or like just after. So I can be pretty cavalier with my review. I had great expectations for that game. I really wanted it to be a fun, cheesy, ridiculous action title where you play the President of the United States riding around in a mech and blowing up soldiers. All of what I just said is in the game, but it's also pretty bad. Like, the dialogue is terrible, but I love that. And the acting is terrible, and I love that. And the premise is cheesy and garbage, but I also love that. But the pacing for the combat is really wonky, and the controls are kind of like slow, and you have to do a lot of like ammunition management. Like, you have to get really like down to the nitty gritty. And it's frustrating, and it feels counterintuitive because the whole premise is supposed to be this bombastic, amazing, over-the-top, like, all go, no stop, big nuts action adventure. And then the actual combat is slow, measured, careful, and like cautious. And it's just it's fucking whiplash, and I can't endorse it.
I think I'm very much not down with that.
Yeah, that kind of game sounds like it should be like constant sprinting, unlimited ammo, explosions, everything's breaking all around you, buildings are coming down.
Yeah, like, it has so many of the ingredients you need. Like, there's destructible properties sometimes. There's lots of stuff for you to blow up, and you get a lot of, like, crazy different weapons you can mess with right off the bat. You get, like, missiles and machine guns, and you can unlock a flamethrower more or less immediately. So you get all this crazy shit you can mess around with in your toolkit, and you can equip almost 10 of them at once. And you'd think, like, all of this feels like it should add up to, like, a fucking amazing mech experience.
Yes.
But it's still so... It's kind of slow, and it's made difficult with, like, just with, like, the ammunition that you have to, like, perfectly manage, and, like, you have to get good at dumb stuff you wouldn't think you'd have to be good at in order to get through any given mission. And they start getting really hard more or less right off the bat. It's just like, it was not, ease me
So
into
how much of that is like game design that's a couple of generations old? Because this was once upon a time a Japan only game, right?
Yeah, I think that definitely is a factor. And it's weird because From Software was actually pretty celebrated for their mech games before they got into the Soul series. And you think they would have this shit unlocked. Like, it would just be like, oh no, we've been doing mech games for years. We know exactly how this works. But I don't know. It's so unpleasant that it calls into question every other mech game of theirs that I haven't tried yet. It's like, oh, maybe they're all this weirdly slow and punishing. Which, I mean, okay, counterpoint, a punishing From Software game is pretty much on brand. But, like,
True.
This just feels like it should be a, like, orgiastic, like, bit of popcorn entertainment, as opposed to, like, the next in a long line of, like, granular, top shelf, tough as nails mech games. And it's just, like, and it just doesn't, like, line up aesthetically with that ridiculous voice acting. There's no Japanese voice track for this game, by the way. They recorded it in English and nothing else. And they did so in Japan in 2004 using just the actors they could find. It is fucking amazing.
That sounds like the perfect kind of bullshit wrapped in the worst. Because I think if you're playing a mech game, if it's from the States or Europe, you expect slow and plodding. But if it's from Japan, it better be like 6,000 jet engines, Gundam spinning with swords and flamethrowers and missiles.
Yeah, it's almost like they tried to incorporate American design elements and it just hobbles the game.
That
Brutal.
is too bad. I'm
Yep.
very sad to hear that, actually. On my end, I played Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Sick.
Not really.
No, not sick. Okay.
No, not really. It was a gross disappointment, unfortunately. What I expected was more of what they got right in the new Colossus, which was a completely bombastic story with characters that you care about a surprising amount, interspersed with linear action where you mow down the competition and have really big guns.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so you still kill the Nazis, which, that's good. It's good. But they kind of designed this more like the recent Far Cry games, which really is not what they should have done. It really isn't.
How so?
So, in place of the more linear level design, they put several kind of more open areas that look good, but are devoid of anything to really interact with. So the side mission design especially is very cut and paste. It's go to location X, press button Y, come back and get experience points. And
Gotcha.
you expect some of that, but the lead up to the mission is telling you, Jean-Claude is there and he's trying to, do whatever to the Nazis. Jean-Claude is never there. There's no NPCs in any of the levels. It's just devoid of life, and you're just walking from A to B to press a button and going back. And it is a huge shame because New Colossus was one of the biggest surprises a couple years ago for me because they really nailed that writing and the off-the-wall commentary on not just World War II, but the world more generally, and they really lost that in this game because the writing it's pretty rough.
Okay.
The jokes don't land. The characters, there's very little backstory given, very little to connect you to what they're up to. So I just really didn't care. I didn't care about the characters. Somebody died, whatever. I'm just gonna keep on going. And that mission design incentivizes you to actively avoid combat.
Oh.
I guess it's one of the interesting things about the game is you can go about various things in various ways, and a lot of them involve sneaking and not engaging.
Oh.
And that's kind of how I approached a lot of it because I didn't want any more of the bad writing and schlock, for lack of a better term.
So you took a path that minimized your exposure to certain detrimental parts of the game.
Yeah, when possible. When possible. They really ram a lot of that down your throat, though. The protagonists, I think, could have been fine. That being B.J. Blazkowicz's twin daughters, Jess and Soph. But there's not a lot of true characterization. There's a lot of sort of Beavis and Butthead-esque jokes.
Oh.
And vague references to VHS tapes. But none of it is funny. None of it feels meaningful. And so it's just kind of this vanilla shooting experience where nothing really matters and you're just trying to get to your destination. And there's no incentive to do any of the side stuff.
That is very unfortunate. Was Youngblood one of the games you got to check out at E3 this year? Or was that Trevor?
Trevor and I did play it at E3. And what they showed at E3 was the first level. And that's one of the only linear missions in the game.
Oh.
After that initial mission, it opens up into the open world where a lot of the bullshit happens. But that linear stuff is still kind of good. So I don't want to say it was a misleading demo or anything, but they definitely showed off one of the best parts. put it that way.
One of the best parts was the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other linear missions, but for the most part, the bulk of your time is intended to be spent in this open world kind of grinding experience and grinding currency to upgrade your weapons or upgrade your skills and so on. It's very Far Cry, but without a lot of the flexibility. You generally approach everything in the same way, which is to shoot the Nazis, because that's how the engine and the game is designed. It's not, I don't think it was meant to be this way.
Okay, so, that's troubling, but all right, fair enough.
If you want to mow down some more Nazis, it's still perfectly serviceable for that. It's just missing what made the previous 2 games special.
Okay.
Yeah. And on that down note, let's talk about the news, which is basically all negative.
Oh boy!
Now, which story to cover first? Let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way, because it's come up again that video games are the problem, not guns and mental health services.
Of course it's video games. Of course. I don't even know where to start with that.
Basically, the idea is that you find a scapegoat that old people are ready to leap down the throat of, in this case, video games, because it's a nice, recognizable punching bag that's better than being like, oh, hey, the system that created this problem is in no danger of changing anytime soon. Let's all gather around to watch the house burn down. Instead, they can be like, hey, this might be it. Let's blame this, you know?
Yeah, and what I find really, really interesting about this whole thing is that the channels in which video games are being played are the channels that video game players no longer follow. So it's the MSNBCs and the CNNs of the world that are pushing this narrative, when people who are young enough to play video games, they don't use those resources. They go to independent news sources on the web or follow whoever they follow on Twitter to get their news. And it's just kind of this echo chamber where people are yelling about the problem without talking about the problem. And the people that are affected by that talk aren't really aware of it.
Well, yeah, basically they've created a situation where the opposing voice is almost guaranteed not to hear about this unless it's like reactionary pieces or sound bites on the more accessible forms of media. So, like, basically the two sides are unlikely to meet, and they can safely use video games as a sort of punching bag when it is, like, patently, painfully obvious that there are other much more relevant forces at work here. And it just helps people to have a scapegoat of sorts that is unlikely to speak back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was such an easy target to use, because I remember there was one of the shootings a couple years ago where when they checked out the guy's apartment, they were like, look, he's got a video game, so clearly it was video games that did it. And at least that had like the thinnest of thin connections for their claim. But this latest string of them, I haven't heard anything even slightly of the sort of a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, there's nothing, they can't, like, walk through the guy's apartment or whatever and, like, point to a stack of, like, something that says, hey, this person has a mental illness, or this person has been radicalized, or this person has been, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing physical or tangible they can just, like, pick up in the middle of a fucking clumsily worded news piece being like, here we see evidence of this person spiraling down to madness. And it's just, you know, one of them, like, literally spelled out the name of their biggest influence using guns on the floor of their apartment.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me sideways. You could not have missed the point harder if you leapt out of its way like it was a speeding fucking car. Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, and I think there's a real temptation in the media to try to break down issues like this into something that's really simple. Like you can blame video games or you can blame, the internet in some way, when really the problem is way bigger than that. It's way broader than saying simply this one thing is the problem, when the way society has been constructed is the problem. Um,
Yeah,
because it lets
like,
people get to this point where they feel like this is the way forward. So where were all the steps in the middle where intervention could have been tiny and corrective instead of, having resulted in dozens of people losing their lives?
yeah.
But anyways, it's not a video games problem.
Hmm.
No, that's for other more responsible, powerful people to discover and take action on.
I mean, even just the fact of dropping the name, saying video games, video games. You see the headlines now that are saying the like stocks are dropping in some of the bigger developers because people
Mm-hmm.
are losing faith in the companies now. They're like, you're the reason this is happening. I mean, GameStop dropped a bunch, and they definitely did not need another hit considering how quickly they're going down. What was it? Activision Blizzard took a hit. EA took a hit. Someone else did too. I don't remember who.
Yeah, it was basically anyone that publishes a marquee title based on war
Yeah,
that took a pretty big hit.
and
Anything realistic.
that's just from headlines from people
Yeah, well, that's
freaking
because the
out.
people who the investors and the stock people all actually watch MSNBC, and so when they see bad words about the video games, then they make negative projections, which negatively impact the imaginary potential futures of these companies. So, like, on a concrete level, I'm pretty fucking sure nothing actually happened of any, like, genuine negative impact, but it was all like, oh, hey, this could possibly be bad, so let's all sell a whole bunch of our stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the solution to this problem is not simple, but the power is kind of in our hands as a younger generation who, understands the internet and understands how to get a message out there and propagate it. So if you're listening to this and you have thoughts about this, or you feel like you understand the problem, I think it's on you to go to your elected officials and tell them how you're feeling. That's how democracy works. If you have a problem, you're supposed to talk to your elected officials, and if they don't represent your views, you can vote differently. So take it upon yourselves to be the change that you want to see.
That's right. And speaking of change for the better, there was a big to do on Twitch because they took down a bunch of clips of a streamer breastfeeding. And after some outcry and examination of the rules, it was decided that you could do that on camera. So there you go. People made a lot of noise. They spoke out to the people that matter, and the change happened, even if it didn't really mean anything and it didn't make a big difference in the world. Well, I mean, that's not true. That's not fair. For people with young kids, babies, so to speak, who are breastfeeding and who just, can't exactly organize the two schedules because they do tend to come into conflict, the idea that they can meld these two parts of their lives into one is, I guess, like a victory for these people so that they don't lose viewers, because stepping off camera for 45 seconds to 5 minutes to 15 minutes to whatever to feed their fucking kid results in a loss of subscribers, because Twitch is a ravenous, ever-starving beast that cannot go without its fucking fuel for one moment. Super cool.
I love when you describe anything, James. Just anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the gist of the story is, it's if it's within the terms of service, it's within the terms of service. And if people are of the ilk that they don't want to see that, they don't have to watch. So, yeah, good on people for speaking up for what they believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
In
people can't take time off without damaging their livelihoods, so now they don't have to for this one specific thing.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, it's a life function, a life sustaining function that does happen whether you like it or not. It does occur, and people have to live with that. So
That's right.
yeah. In other news, according to Troy Baker, The Last of Us 2 will blow our brains out of our asses, and we are not ready.
Yay.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, The Last of Us Part 1 really hit some people really hard. It's a really powerful story, and um they really elevated the whole fucking medium in a couple ways
Yes.
with that game. And I feel like, hey, maybe lightning can strike twice, you know?
I'm still not ready for The Last of Us 1.
Mhm.
So, Last of Us 2? All signs point to it being one, more of the same, but two, in a much more realistic and immersive environment, which I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm looking forward to it.
So I was kind of dreading seeing this about Last of Us 2 on our docs because I own Last of Us and I still haven't even booted it up once.
Alex, Thomas, I am so mad at you.
I figured that might be the response.
Stop playing Moonlighter and go play The Last of Us tonight.
Yeah, it'll grip you by the throat and like make you feel all the things.
See, I've heard that, but I just end up playing other things instead.
Well, I dare you to invest 45 minutes to an hour this evening into playing The Last of Us, because that's all you'll need to be sucked into its wily clutches and thrown into the puddle and have your face held down under the water until you can't breathe, and then pulled back up and then thrown back in.
And I
so
want that?
You do,
Yeah,
you do want
you
this.
do. You really do.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I could like turn it into an article for the site. Be like, hey, I finally played the game.
Please do. Because it is not a close race to say that it's the best video game narrative that's ever been created.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the conversation. I mean, I'm sure people could make a case for other things, but they might just be wrong. Like, you know.
They might just be wrong. Story of my life.
Yeah, I mean, if I get a chance, I guess I'll plug in some time on it and let you guys know.
Yeah, we're giving you the chance.
Yeah,
we're giving you that chance to do that dance.
No. And you better do it quick, because I know how you feel about Monster Hunter, and the Iceborne DLC is coming out on September 6th.
Yeah, there's just too many games and not enough time.
That's why right now is the best time to play The Last of Us.
I will start playing while we're doing this podcast.
Great.
Yeah, so you're just going to check out. It's going to be like, well, that was Alex. We'll see him next time. And meanwhile, you just hear the fucking PS4 startup noise. We're like, oh, yeah, okay.
The nice jet engine in the background.
I mean, it's not that loud, but it is pretty loud.
What I find really interesting about PS4 noise, it is the loudest when you look at the menu in God of War.
Really?
Yeah.
I
just
heard
have a
that.
go with that. It really rips.
That's so weird.
But anyways, do either of you guys have feelings on Monster Hunter?
I enjoy the Monster Hunter games. It was a great experience to check out Iceborne when I was at E3, especially because getting ready for that appointment to go check it out, Trevor told the guys, is like, oh yeah, he's never played one, you know, it'll be fine. He can walk his way through. It'll be okay. Just let him play. I'm like, Trevor, I've played Monster Hunter. I know how to play the game. So I show up and the team there is like, okay, so this is how you're gonna do things, and they're like walking me through it like nice baby steps, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. Pick it up, boom, 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 boom. and just like nailing it, killing monsters left, right, and center. It's good times.
So you pool shark them basically.
Yeah, it's kind of what it felt like because they were really expecting me to suck, and they had us in these teams of 4, and I go in and I'm the only one who didn't die. I did the most damage. I had the best dodges. Like I nailed it.
I mean, can you really blame them for expecting you to not be great at the game with some of the quality of game playing that goes on in the journalistic space lately?
No, that's very fair. That's more than fair.
I'm part of the problem. Sorry, I just want to say I'm definitely part of the problem. I go to E3 and I pick up a controller and they like look away in like abject like shame and disappointment, or like hanging their heads like, oh my god, we gave this guy a controller and what does he do with it? And it's just like see this guy like running into walls over and over again, or like falling off cliffs, or like swinging your sword at empty air. You know, that's sort of fun amateur hour shit. That's old James. That's me. I'm part of the problem.
I did one of the worst examples of that at PAX. I think it was 2 years ago. It was one of the upcoming 3D Sonic games. And like, okay, so you're going to play the game. And every like 4 seconds, my like collectathon completionist needs kicked in. I'm like, there's a ring. Stop running, turn around and grab it. And they're trying to like guide me through the stage. And I just keep stopping to collect all the rings. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't help it. They got so
you
mad
don't
at
need
me.
the rings.
But I want them. They're there.
You gotta go fast. So fast.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Sonic.
You gotta be
Gots to
thorough.
go fast.
That is so not the point of Sonic the Hedgehog. You gotta be thorough. That's his signature catchphrase.
Yeah, whoa, kids, slow down. See everything first. Remember that seat belt and that, like, everything, you know, really, like, not too hard the gas there. Sorry, Sonic. Yeah.
And that's why they haven't asked me to do anything else Sonic related since.
Part of the problem at events, too, is that you are spending 12 to 14 hours a day playing video games and moving between vastly different things that you've never played before. So usually if there's capture coming from an event, it's just complete garbage because, you know, you're playing Monster Hunter, but 10 minutes ago you were playing Madden, and before that you were playing some XCOM style game. So, you know, like it's a little difficult to switch gears sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And finally in the news, you know that little game came out about 6 months ago, Apex Legends?
Yes.
You heard of that one?
You mean Titanfall 3?
Yep, yes. Titanfall 3 multiplayer. That 6-month-old game, apparently it's going to last a decade.
That's super optimistic of them.
Yeah. I mean, good on them for having hopes.
It didn't really sound like hopes from what I read. It was that it will last a decade, and it will bring in money.
According to
EA's Andrew Wilson. So the guy who should know better than anyone that this is probably going to fizzle out in a year and a half or so.
Is EA not just tooting its own horn?
Oh, they definitely are, but it's an investor's call, so maybe don't say that. Because
he's not going to be like, okay, here's
Fair.
This game that we sold some copies of. Well, we didn't because it's Apex Legends and it's free. Here's this game that a lot of people are playing, and we're totally confident that the Battle Royale, that the hero shooter genre is just going to power on ahead for the next decade. And there's no way that people are going to get sick of our game whatsoever. It's going to be so good. Just Apex Legends for 100 years. Apex Legends every day. Apex Legends in every way. And, yeah, like, if he just walks in as like, cool, it's going to flame out in 3 months, please don't fire me. They're going to fire him for one thing.
Well, I mean, you don't have to necessarily go down that road and say that it's going to slow down, but you can say it shows no signs of slowing down, and we have 8 to 10 million active users every week, and we're selling a squillion V-Bucks or whatever a day, but you don't have to say, we are very confident that we can make this game last for 10 years.
Yeah.
Think about what was available 10 years ago.
Almost Skyrim.
Yeah. They're basically saying they can predict a decade into the future in a medium that changes drastically about every 3 years.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, good luck, good job fitting into your pants with those enormous swollen balls of yours. Like, good God.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it will. People seem to like it.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just
have either
be
of you
like,
guys played it that much?
no, I don't do.
I've never touched it.
I don't do online multiplayer shooters. I'm a scrub. I don't know.
I think
I'm
that's
with him.
strike 2 on you, Alex, because that's the second thing you haven't played on this podcast. If I find one more thing, there's going to be deep shit.
Son of a bitch. I'll just claim that I've played everything a little bit.
There you go. Yes, it would behoove you to just claim that you've played it.
Yeah, you've downloaded every free-to-play title on the market right now, available for any platform, for at least 35 to 45 minutes. So you can at least give us a detailed breakdown of what the menus are like and what the introductory spiel is all about for every single video game.
There's some music and some color, and sometimes you get an option to check the settings, and then you can play.
Only sometimes?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could give us a real hot take on Dauntless.
Oh god, I love Dauntless. I love Dauntless. Even if it's just like, hey, I got 20 minutes to kill, I can still go do a hunt, exchange all my parts, upgrade my weapons and stuff, and be like, all right, I'm done for now. Or I can be like, hey, I've got 5 hours to kill. I'm gonna go kill a bunch of giant monsters and have a great time doing it. I love Dauntless.
I feel like your ringing endorsement of this game in public, in private, on the Slack chat, and anywhere else you're allowed to voice should probably be prefaced with the fact that you're also a Monster Hunter veteran. And it's just like, hey, this thing I'm really good at, turns out I'm also really good at it and really like it in this other flavor / format.
Well,
you know?
With Monster Hunter, it's like I'm going to be methodical, I'm going to plan out exactly what I'm going to do, have all the right traps and the gear, and make sure all my loadout's perfect. And with Dauntless, it's this super casual, kind of slightly cartoony version where you're like, I'm just going to go kill something, it'll be fine. And it's like, it's an easier way to unwind, because they just drop you in like these little floating islands. The only creature you encounter is the monster you're there to hunt, whereas in Monster Hunter, it's like this vast open space. You have to actually track them down with footprints and things, and there's all the little monsters you'll encounter. It's very straightforward, super easy to jump into with Dauntless.
So it's Monster Hunter with training wheels.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunter Light.
You know what? As
Monster Hunter Diet.
Yeah, okay. Sugar-free Monster Hunter, I'm pretty down with that.
Yeah.
I love Diet Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
so
not gonna,
fresh.
I'm not going to play it because Fire Emblem has its claws several inches deep into my sternum. But, like, good ringing endorsement, Alex. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm sure there was other news in the last couple of weeks, but you know what? I didn't copy any of those links, so we're not going to talk about that stuff. It didn't happen.
Actually, that shit didn't happen. Which is whatever.
Yeah. I didn't plan for this, but do you guys want to make up a perfect list?
Okay. Quick 30-second huddle. What's it going to be about? Why do the people care? How can we use this to enrich the lives of men, women, and children the world over?
Damn, that's quite the criteria. Did you have a topic in
I feel
mind?
like since Madden is out, and that officially marks the beginning of video games,
Yeah.
we could come up with the 10 perfect games to play this fall that we don't know if they're good yet or not.
Okay. I have a few entries tucked away in my brain hole already. So,
Okay.
Number 1 on the 10 perfect games to play this fall that you don't know will be good or not is the remake of Link's Awakening, which, surprise, there is a possibility it won't be good. Like, just because it's based on one of the best Zelda games made by human hands in the span of human history, it's possible they'll, like, I don't know, stick their Mario-shaped dick in it and, like, mess it all up, but, like, probably not, man. It's probably gonna just rip shit. Like,
I just visualized a Mario-shaped dick.
Yeah.
Does it have a mustache?
Let's go.
Hell yeah, it does. I'll let you guess where the mustache goes.
Yeah.
But please don't say it. Just visualize it. That's it.
Yeah. Who's got number 2? Come on. Let's keep this going. Who's got number 2?
Well, a side note, while Alex thinks of his thing, is I did play some of Link's Awakening, and it felt like Link's Awakening, although it didn't run great.
Yeah, I've heard that word, and that is one very good possibility.
It's very chunky in the overworld.
The Mario-shaped dick is beginning to take shape, okay? Like, little mustache in the boober.
Okay, Alex, number 2, go for it.
I want to put in The Outer Worlds.
Why?
Because it's got all this great potential of all the things we want it to be, that it looks like, this is the Fallout that we've wanted. It follows a lot of the crazy stuff for New Vegas. There's so many cool systems that they've put in there, and there is a good buzz behind it, but it's teetering on the edge of that. Is this too much hype? Like, is it going to be able to live up to it? Will it really be as good? Because my fingers are crossed. I just don't know for sure now, because people are just going like, oh, it's going to be great, it's amazing, it's wonderful.
Okay, yeah, you sound very unsure, so I think that's a good addition to the list.
Okay. Paul, what do you got?
Oh, as much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to say Death Stranding, because although I love Kojima and all his wacky bullshit, and that trailer that just came out a couple weeks ago, the guy whose name is Heartman, because his heart stops every 21 minutes, looked pretty good. The acting looked good. I don't really know what that game is. I don't know what the minute-to-minute is, and it might suck.
It's got that auteur signature all over it. Like, generally, when you let a creative force in an industry run wild after being on a leash for 2 decades,
yes,
it's pretty hit or miss. So this could be, like, a big sopping fuckfest. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this could be like, when RoboCop came out and people's minds were blown out of their ears, or it could not.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good example there, so it could not.
Okay, fair enough. All right, number 4. I got you right here. River City Girls.
What?
Okay. Hear me out. There's a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up game back in the Super NES days called River City Ransom, which is just about a couple of buff dudes beating the crap out of other buff dudes and eating food and reading books to build up their stats. Also, they could rescue their girlfriends, I guess, or like their like current sexual partners. It's pretty light in story. Anyways, it was a fun, surprisingly good game. It still holds up today. It came out for the NES, and it's still good. I can tell you this right now, even though NES games do not generally age that well. There's been a couple of sequels, and they were also still pretty good. And this one is about a couple of ladies going out, kicking the crap out of bad dudes or girls, or what have you. Maybe both, I guess. It's that year. And it looks potentially really rad. Or it will be an ill-fated attempt to reach into the past and make something old relevant again, and it might fall flat on its face.
Okay.
But the sprite work looks fucking beautiful, so I'm very willing to give this a shot.
I have a deep, deep love for River City Ransom, and all of the subsequent River City games that they've brought out, because they're so mindless and yeah. So the premise of River City Girls is that it's the girls now, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of hard hitting, ass kicking ladies going out,
perfect,
saving the day. Yeah, it looks so good.
Yep, I'm on board. Alex,
I think this is probably going to be one of the most obvious choices for the list, which I'm surprised that it made it this long without being on there. Is Jedi Fallen Order. Like I've been so on the fence about it since we saw the trailers, and even then I was like, I don't think it'll be able to live up to what it's already pushing. And on top of that, you now have this comparison to being like Sekiro, which is just like tooting their own horn that little extra bit. So I mean, it could be good. I am not optimistic for Fallen Order.
All right, I can see that. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah, good pick.
Thank you.
I am gonna go with Gears 5.
Gears 5. Okay, very, very maybe, very on the fence. Very good.
Yeah, I think that this year, especially, The Division has pushed that particular brand of stop and pop cover shooting forward in a way that I'm not convinced the Coalition was prepared for. Because all the Gears games are very much so drop off a ledge and there's a bunch of rocks around and you're like, oh, this is the combat arena, and the guys are going to come from that direction. Where The Division had way more variety in how those kind of encounters played out. And I'm not sure that if it is the older way of doing things, that people are going to be that thrilled with it.
Yeah. They could break new ground. They could push a series forward. Or not.
They may not.
Yeah. I feel like it's very possible. I've heard whispers, I've heard rumors, I've heard from you guys. It kind of seems like they might be in a little bit of trouble with this game, or maybe we just haven't seen the full shiny chrome final release, and then maybe they're gonna pull it out like at the last second and we're gonna have a fucking badass Gears game. Or maybe it'll suck and they'll sell 20 million copies anyways. What am I, a fucking soothsayer? No, it's fine.
All right, James, what's number 7?
Oh, like Borderlands 3, obviously. I know everybody's like hot as shit for this game, and because it's like, it's Borderlands after so long. The second one was so good. Borderlands 2, boys and girls, public service announcement. Borderlands 2 is an arrow comparison engine. You walk around a shitty blasted wasteland, you open up a treasure chest or a box, 500 weapons pop out, and you spend 20 minutes comparing each set of arrows to the next one. And then you find one that's all green and you almost piss your pants because it's such good news. And then you go on about your day until you find the next fucking like locker or treasure chest or whatever, and you do the entire dance again. Also, sometimes there's shooting. Please don't let it be more of that. That's all I'm asking.
But what if there's more Claptrap? Everybody loves Claptrap.
Everybody had, I mean, unless they like give him a stronger role with even better writing, and he's just like, I'm just gonna pop up all the time like your fun, witty sidekick to distract you from the fact that you're just looking at 2 sets of numbers and seeing which one is bigger. And just like, man, I'm waiting to be impressed. That's all I'm gonna say, right?
But really, isn't all video games just making the numbers go up?
Yeah, but like, it could be more fun, and it could be less like stop and start, halting, stumbling fucking pace, interspiced with like a bunch of big, goddamn, beautifully animated bullet sponges wandering around this fucking impossible to penetrate enemy base. Like, fuck off, Borderlands. Just every time I think about that game, every time I think about Borderlands 2, and everyone's like, oh, this is so good, I'm like, It was just such a fucking slog, man.
So I'll just mark you down for the Borderlands 3 review then.
Oh, for sure, Paul. I am first in line.
Beautiful.
All right, Alex, number 8.
Uh, Looking at the list of the games that are going to be coming out in the next little while, I'm trying to think what's really going to meet that criteria for the list.
The list of the games.
Yeah. I'm going to say the World of Warcraft Classic that's supposed to be coming out in a little while. Because, I mean, my girlfriend used to play WoW when it first came out, and I mentioned this to her, hey, Vanilla WoW is coming out, you'll be able to jump back in if you wanted to on the original. And she's like, I don't have a reason to. Like, I'm older now. I don't really care about trying to get lost in an MMO again. And I see what they're doing with WoW, but it feels like a really big gamble for them. Like, this could be such a great idea of like refreshing the franchise, showing people what it used to be like, still having some of the more modern quality of life kind of stuff, but still giving them that old feel. But is it necessary? Is this something that's actually going to sell well and do well? Because this feels more like fan service than anything, and I don't think it's going as far as they're hoping.
Counterpoint, people who have been born since World of Warcraft came out originally, but have felt too intimidated by the number of expansions to really get into it. This might be their entry point.
That is fair. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah. That's
And not to interrupt too many times, once they play Vanilla WoW and they're like, man, you know what this could use? Features and modern upgrades. Blizzard can just be like, check it out, motherfuckers. We have the much better version right over here. Bam. Instant convert.
Yeah, I guess it is like the free appetizer before the meal kind of thing, get people to come in and check it out. But I don't know. I just don't feel that great about the choice. I feel like they're hoping it's going to do more than it will.
I think enough people were clamoring for it originally and enough weird semi-legal private servers popped up with Vanilla WoW that it'll have a following at least, even if it's not an explosive one.
I mean, it'll definitely have a following. I mean, my day job is to sell, board games and accessories and stuff like that. So you get those like super fans who come in to drop money on the super rare thing, but the bread and butter of the business comes from the stuff everybody wants, not just pandering the super fans.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you got?
Oh, I got a toss up, but I'm going to go with Control.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to be awesome. I think in my heart it's going to be awesome because Alan Wake is so good. And even though Quantum Break? Was that what that game was called?
Yeah.
Yes?
Quantum Break was not that good.
Okay.
But they made strides there with their, animation and storytelling in a way, even though the writing wasn't that good. And it seems like they have a pretty good cast for this one. But again, the story seems really convoluted and like maybe it's going to be hard to get into. But then again, you can throw giant barrels at people and do some cool powers stuff. And it looks amazing. So Control might be awesome.
Yeah. I too have a great deal of faith in this title, but it's pretty obtuse. It could end up being kind of a letdown, but I'm holding out hope.
Holding out hope. That's the
right.
The end of August story. Games that come out at the end of August are kind of just never that special. For whatever reason.
Well, I do see that in the end of August, there's another Bubsy title coming out, so that's something to look forward to. More Bubsy.
No, it isn't. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't.
Do not invoke Bubsy's name around here.
Okay.
Okay, who has a 10th?
I have a 10th, and it's not Bubsy. Okay.
Those are my two criteria. Go ahead.
Okay, so on September 27th, we're getting Code Vein.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's
Code
a really
Vein
good pick.
has been waiting in the wings and delayed and pushed back and messed around with for quite a while now. And anime Dark Souls has real grit and real possibility. Or it could be another fucking Bandai Namco anime game that hits 70% at the absolute peak in terms of its quality and just vanishes under the fucking waves in like 2 weeks. Or it'll breathe hot new life into the fucking overstuffed genre of Souls games.
I mean, it does look really cool. Some of the monster design and the animation stuff looks pretty cool.
And like the characters with like the sweet like fucking gas masks and all the like crazy black like accoutrements and all the like incredible shit attached to the like the characters and like the glowing red eyes. Yeah. Aesthetically, it looks hot to death. And gameplay wise, the demos I played so far have been not too bad, but there is a possibility it's going to get bogged down with inane bullshit minutia, which is definitely a real serious problem for Bandai Namco Japanese action RPGs. And hey, maybe this will be the time when they produce a title that breaks away from their very, very solid, well-set mold. Or it will suck. It's all very up in the air.
At this point, who can say? Not us.
No, not us, not I, not you.
But we can recommend that you keep your eyes on every one of these 10 games on our perfect list of the 10 games that you should play this fall, but we don't know if they're good yet.
Solid.
Guys, that worked way better than I thought it would.
Hell yeah, it did.
I feel like this is the fastest a perfect list has been put together.
We've really set a new standard for speed in podcasting, I think. We covered a lot of ground here.
That's because we don't have Sean in here.
He flaps a lot of lip, I won't lie.
Listen, we've set down the roads, we've set the standard, we've shown the way, okay? Now it is up to those who follow in our footsteps to shut the fuck up sometimes and let the podcast progress in a natural fashion.
James.
Yeah.
The people that follow in our footsteps?
Uh-huh.
That's us.
Oh, good. Then we're in great shape.
Yeah. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks, fellas?
Everyone should play Dauntless.
Everyone play Dauntless. It's cross-play, right?
It is. It's crazy. Like, my roommate has just the Xbox, so I could be playing with him on my PS4, but my PS4, of course, with the jet engine, heats up my room like crazy in this summer heat. So I was like, oh, I'll just try it on Xbox. It took like 5 seconds. My save files on Xbox. No stupid overheating, no jet engine noises, and now we can play Xbox to Xbox. It's fantastic.
Dear God, cats and dogs living together. It's total anarchy.
Right?
Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Press X the Podcast.
That's right.
And if you've come this far, thanks very much for listening. We've been Paul, James, and Alex. Until next time, it'll be about 2 weeks down the road. We wish you the best of luck in whatever it is you're up to. If that means you're on Twitch watching some breastfeeding streams, that's cool. You do you.
That's right.
And if not, if you're like Alex and you've never played The Last of Us, you should go play that. Like, really. There's no excuse.
Yeah. Now's the time, honestly.
I mean, the time was a few years ago, but also now is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those times at the time.
Yeah. So thanks very much for listening, and we will talk to you in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.